What is up, Boston Silscar fans, and welcome to our PGL Season 6 Week 8 matchup against Conninja and the Golden State Miniors. Super cool team name and logo. Make sure you go check them out in the description down below, as well as all the other coaches. Today, I do not have on the Boston Silscarf's jersey. It is in the wash. Just want to get that out of the way because I know it is tradition that I wear that thing. Unfortunately, this week we're not rocking out with it. But what we are rocking out with is a Conninja, Aegis, Dragon Knight, Rotom, Mokla, Fable, and Tentacruel. We'll have to see how that goes. I decided this week I wanted to go back to basics, bring my Dragon Steel Fairy Core, because that's what I drafted. Those are my first three Pokemon I drafted right there. And I really wanted to use them like all season. I've kind of only brought like that whole core to like 2 games, I think. And this, I've been doing too many crazy things, I feel like recently. I haven't really been sticking with the core. So this week I decided to try and just bring the core. Plus I didn't have the most time in the world to prepare for this week. So went back to basics. We'll see how that works out for us. Conninja went ahead and brought his Staraptor, Megalodios, Regirock, Kartana, Darkrai, and Suicune. A crazy powerful team. We'll have to see how we stack up against this. Now, looking at his matchup, I figure he probably will start with a Staraptor. So I go ahead, I lead Conninja, which is also an obvious lead. So we'll have to see how that ends up working out. I'm going to go ahead and click on the start button, though, so we can finally dip on into here. See how this matchup plays out for us. So, like I said, I lead Conninja. He ends up actually leading with the Staraptor, so that's pretty good. I know I outspeed Staraptor unless he's Scarfed, which was nerve-wracking, because if you Scarfed and went for like a close combat or whatever, we were screwed. I think maybe even a Brave Bird. I'm going to end up just going for an Ice Beam, though, hoping that we outspeed and that he stays in. Plus, if I had gone for Ice Beam, he switched out whatever, we got damage on something, but he decides to stay in. He said that he'd miscalculated this, I think, and didn't realize that our Ice Beam would kill. I talked to him a little bit after the battle, so that was kind of unfortunate for him. But really great for us. We got one big threat down right off the bat, which is fantastic. He goes to the Regirock, which I was really confused about. We do just go for a Scald. Almost completely takes down Regigigas, but we do see that he has the Berry. It's going to bring his HP back up, which was kind of cool. Also scary at the same time, but he goes for Ice Punch. I assume he thought we were bringing in the Dragon Knight, which I think is kind of a weird play there. Maybe he thought that we were going to fear maybe like a fighting move or something. I'm not really too familiar with Regirock, so I don't really know what that thing packs typically. So it might have helped us out in that situation, being unprepared in that sense. I just go for another Scald, hoping he stays in, but he does bring in a Suicune, and I'm really hoping we don't get a burn on this Scald, but we do get the burn. I'm hoping not to get a burn because I can just Toxic this thing with anything else, and that would be most ideal. But unfortunately, we snagged the burn. One of the very few times that we're going to say that. I'm going to go ahead, just U-turn out of here. I do have a few things that'll deal with this. I'm going to bring in the Tentacruel this turn because Tentacruel's rocking Toxic this week, and I really want... Oh, wait, no, sorry, I'm getting mixed up. That's later on in the game. I bring in Chores right now because I got Leaf Storm and should be able to take this thing out. Unfortunately, he's Calm Mind, though, and now I'm really scared because I'm not killing this thing with this Leaf Storm anymore. That's for sure. And I can't really... There's the very low chance of me killing with 2 Leaf Storms because of the negative to the special attack after this one, and he's got that Calm Mind already. So there's a chance I might not kill here, I think. No, wait, no, there is. I'm fine. Sorry, I'm confusing myself. But I am going to go for a second Leaf Storm because it would have killed there, but he ends up going for the Rest. So he's racking the Rest, Calm Mind. I can't believe I've already forgotten so much of this battle. And the Berry to wake up. So crazy cool Suicune set. I'm really nervous right now. I go for another Leaf Storm just to get off as much damage as possible because I can live 1 Ice Beam after calking it. I should be able to live 1 Ice Beam. So he does end up going for the Ice Beam. And yeah, not the best, but I'm not super worried because there's some things I can do, but it's still very scary because this could be game depending on the situation. He's got a crazy set right now. I'm going to bring in my Squidward. I'm going to go for a Toxic. I know it's kind of a bad idea because he can just go for Rest at any point, but he ends up switching out, which I thought was really interesting to see. So Kartana comes in. I would have stayed in with that Suicune because obviously, like, Suicune could just do anything, you know? I'm going to bring in my Aegis Slash. And he goes for a Psycho Cut. It's not really going to touch Aegis Slash too much. And I'm planning on going for Sacred, I believe Sacred Sword. It's super effective. So it's kind of one of my only things I have to really deal with this Kartana is Sacred Sword. Unfortunately, he is rocking the knockoff this turn. And that's really bad for us because Aegis Slash is pretty important for this battle. We do see that he's Life Orb, though. I'm going to go into Blade Form and go for the Sacred Sword. We'll see if it actually manages to take out Dunder Mifflin here. Great nickname, by the way. Dunder Mifflin, Paper Company, Michael Scott, you know, The Office. Great nickname. But anyways, he switches out, probably fearing the Shadow Sneak, which is what I decided to go for, because either way, I'm just getting the damage off, potentially killing it with that move. I have no idea if we would have gotten the roll to kill or not, or if it even was a roll. But I go for the Shadow Sneak. He brings in his Darkrai, and I decide to stay in, just sack off Aegislash, and in case he sets up a nasty plot, I'll be okay. And I'm gonna go for his Sacred Sword. That's my plan here. And he ends up going for Z-Trick, so it fails because we don't have an item anymore because he knocked it off. So I end up going for the Sacred Sword. It takes away a massive amount of damage. Now I just can go for another Shadow Sneak to finish this guy off. And now Aegislash has been in Blade Form for like 4 turns in a row, which is crazy. That never happens. It's not a smart thing to do, but it just worked out that way. And he's going to bring in his Latios now, or Latios, which is his Mega Pokemon. He's going to go ahead and Mega Evolve first turn, as per rules of the PGL this season. And we're going to go for a Shadow Sneak, because honestly, Aegislash isn't really helping us too much from this point on, so I just want to get damage on this Mega Latios, honestly. So I go for the Shadow Sneak. It does a good chunk, you know, maybe 25%. And Aegislash is going to go down, unfortunately. But hey, you know what? Aegislash did a lot more than it should have done with that HP after that Kartana knockoff, so I'm okay with it. Now, right here, we do get really lucky. We bring in Kakashi and go for an Ice Beam. I think this would have done 77% max. So I think it still might have killed, but it depends on how he was running stuff. But we did get a crit, so I think that the crit probably did matter. I'm not entirely sure. I know Conninja thinks that the crit mattered, so I'm assuming that means that he was invested, especially defensively. So it probably did matter. So, but we got lucky. We got a crit. We got the kill. I'm going to go ahead and U-turn out on the Suicune. We already know the Suicune set, and it's pretty darn scary. But I still do have some solutions. This is what I was talking about earlier, where I switch into Suicune. I mean, Tentacruel. And I'm going to go for Toxic, which, I'm thinking back on it, not the smartest move, because Toxic... Because we already saw Rest, so he's just going to go to sleep. I don't know why I didn't think about that. But I set up a Toxic, and we end up just going back and forth, hitting each other. Now, another thing I did is that now that he's Toxic, I was thinking, oh, he's going to want to switch out, because I had already forgotten about Rest for whatever reason. So I'm going for Ice Beams in order to catch a switch in, so I can do the most damage possible. I should have just went for Scalds, because as you'll see, he just keeps going for Ice Beam, or he keeps going for Scalds, which is very interesting that he decided to do that and not just go for the rest right away. But I'm assuming maybe he was trying to get some of our PP down to the lowest he could. But if we had gone for Scalds, we might have actually killed the Suicune right here and right now, because Scalds would have done like 5% more, and you'll see he gets very, very close with his Toxics, with Toxic ticking down on him and him going for moves. But then again, maybe if I was going for Scalds, he might have rested sooner, so it's kind of hard to tell what would have happened. He's just going for Scalds. Maybe he's hoping to get a burn, which so far we're pretty good. No Scald burns for us. Not that it mattered too much, because honestly, it's not really hurting this Tentacruel, but look at how low he had gotten right there. Maybe if I had been going for Scalds the whole time, he would have been dead. This turn I go for Toxic, assuming he's going to rest. I don't know why I thought that he would outspeed. I don't know what I did. Like I said, this whole set of plays, I screwed myself up. I shouldn't have done all these things that I was doing, but I went for Toxic. Maybe I was thinking he would switch out or something. I don't really remember, to be honest with you. Or I was just thinking that I would outspeed, or he would outspeed for whatever reason, but we still do have Clefable, and Clefable can just counter Calm Mind up on this thing. So it wasn't really too big of a deal. I feel like we still could have taken that on, because we had, during his rest, I don't think he was packing Sleep Talk. I'm not entirely sure, but I never saw it once. So I was thinking I can just set up Calm Minds. I can Soft Boil, because we have Soft Boil, and I can just Moonblast him until he's dead anyways. So in the long run, I think we would have won that battle. So it didn't really matter too much, but hey, whatever, we'll see. But he goes for Psycho Cut here, and he does get a critical hit on Rumble. We survive on 4 HP, so there were crit for crit here. I set up a Dragon Dance, because I know I'm not going to outspeed this thing without a Dragon Dance. So our attack's up, our speed's up, and now I'm just going to go for, I believe, an Earthquake. I believe. No, I go for a Roost this turn, because he did get lucky with the crit last time. So I'm hoping that he won't crit this time. We'll have just a little bit more HP to work with. as he goes for Psycho Cut, and no crit, no crit, no crit, no crit. So we're good. We got 20 health. He faints to his Life Orb, which was another reason I went for Roost, because I knew he'd be dead next turn anyways, so getting the most health possible is probably ideal. So that was good. I guess a good play. It didn't really matter because we didn't get that much health, but now I'm going to just go for Earthquake because it should be super effective against this thing. I'm thinking it should kill at the +1, but Grizlocke is bulky. Grizlocke is very, very bulky, and he lives. He goes for that Ice Punch we saw earlier, and down goes Rumble, whose name is supposed to be Jake. I told you the nicknames would be a little messed up this time around. And I'm going to bring out Squidward because he outspeeds. He can just go for a Scald and finish this thing off. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. He does stay in, and the Grizlocke does go down. This is a very close game so far. What is it? It's 4-3 right now? 4-2 or something? I don't know. And he brings in his Suicune, who is still asleep. I'm going to use this turn to switch out into our Rotom Mow. Since he is asleep, I'm taking the risk that he won't wake up this turn. He won't go for Ice Beam. That's the hope as I bring in Rotom Mow. Chores, who's going to just go for a Leaf Storm right this turn. Luckily, Suicune does stay asleep, so no Ice Beam coming our way. Here's the Leaf Storm. It connects. Does a massive amount of damage. Absolutely massive. And all we have to do is go for Leaf Storm, connect, and take down this Suicune, and we're looking like we are in the clear. Wait, actually, this is his last Pokemon. I forgot. But he does avoid the Leaf Storm, wakes up, goes for an Ice Beam. Series of unfortunate events right there, and Chores goes down. Pretty darn scary. Pretty darn scary. Kakashi's going to come in. And this is, I'm not going to kill. I have to go for U-turn, which does 24% max. It's not going to kill. I knew it wasn't going to kill, and if he had gone for rest, we'd be kind of screwed. So I got to switch out of Greninja, but U-turn was the most effective move that I could do. It did the most damage out of any other move I was packing this week. But he luckily for us just went for Scald. I think maybe he thought that we were going to kill him that turn. Luckily, Squidward comes in. And now I brought Squidward in because I knew that he outsped Suicune. And I can just go for a Scald, and it should kill at this amount. It only does 9%, but it should kill. And it does take down Smitty, Werbin, Manjensen. He was number 1. Unfortunately, today he is not number 1. He's dead. So your boss skill scarfs do come out of this game with a 3-0 victory against Conninja. Great game, man. GG. Props to him. We did get lucky with a crit. I know you had that unfortunate miscalc with the Staraptor at the beginning. It does suck. I feel your pain, man. Last week I brought the wrong Clefable, so I've done stupid stuff like that too. But there we go, guys. That's we are now 6-3, I believe, in the league, which is a pretty good score. We're looking very solid for the playoffs. Only one more regular season game. So week 10 next week will be our last game of the season until playoffs, which we will hopefully be making. I'm pretty sure we're good for playoffs, but I don't want to say that for sure just yet because I'm not entirely positive. But I think we have a very solid chance of making playoffs. So Boston Steel Scarfs once again making the playoffs. I think it's not jinx it, but looking at everything, I think we do. Again, I'm not 100% positive. So it should be fun, should be exciting. Even if we get knocked out week 1 of the playoffs, it shouldn't be a big deal. I just still had fun. Just making the playoffs is always such a cool thing for us to pull off, especially coming off of the XBL where we lost every game but 1. But then again, it wasn't my team, so I don't blame myself entirely. I did not make that team. I was given that team to take over. So anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to shield bash that like button down below. Greatly appreciate your support and hope to see you all in the next one. Till then, stay frosty and peace.